This video is about Lacey Baker. Lacey Baker is the best female skateboarder in the world, the best female street skater in the world, by quite a bit, by quite a long shot. And first and foremost, I spent about 15 years of my life skateboarding. I started skateboarding when I was a little kid. I skateboarded all the way up into my 20s. It's pretty much all I did. It was through the late 80s and all through the 90s. And 90s skateboarding is probably the best, probably the most rad, fun skating to watch, that era of skating. And a lot of the guys were doing that for no money. I mean, everything was made in America. Skateboarding has changed a lot, since then. Through the years, I've watched skateboarding my entire life. Is basically what I'm getting at. And I kind of watched something that was a little bit disturbing. It rubbed me the wrong way slightly, and I don't mean this to be critical. And again, this is just from somebody on the outside kind of looking into the skateboarding industry, but I've watched skateboarding my entire life, and something is not right about women's skateboard events. Now hear me out on this. Lacey Baker, I'm a huge fan. She's awesome. This girl is just shreds, dude. And I just watched the most recent women's skateboarding thing, and there's barely anybody in the crowd. And then I was reading something, and it was like an interview with Lacey Baker, and she said that she's not even making a living skateboarding. And I was like, man, really? Because this girl could outskate 99.9% of men. I mean, literally, the only guys that are better than her are, some of professional male skateboarders. And she showed up to a male skate contest. She could outskate most of those guys, and I'm sure she has. I'm sure she showed up at events, especially when she was younger, and outskated those guys. And it's not what she said rubbed me the wrong way, not at all. Like I said, I'm a big fan of Lacey Baker. I think I'm more kind of disappointed to see this in skateboarding. Skateboarding has never been about whether you're black or Hispanic. Like when the Bones Brigade, Steve Caballero and Tommy Guerrero and Mike McGill. I mean, when I was a kid, I never even thought about, and I'm not even making this up, me or anybody else never even thought, well, this guy's Hispanic and this guy's black, from Ron Allen or, Javante Turner or whoever it is. Skateboarding has never been about that. And what's so cool about skateboarders, at least it always has been, is that we're so much cooler than the rest of anybody else, and cooler than anything else, that we don't. Skateboarding is skateboarding, and we don't really go by all this everything that people think and all this closed-mindedness in the rest of the world. Skateboarding has always been you go to school and it totally sucks. You go to work and it totally sucks. And this person's from this area and it sucks. This person's from here, but when you bring it into this bubble of skateboarding, and it's just totally rad, and everything outside of that means nothing. And the rest of the world, we're not part of that. We're skateboarding. And to see a women's skateboard event, which I get it. I get why, you know what I mean? They're probably oh, this is cool. We're gonna, can win a contest in this. But guys, I don't think Lacey Baker. I mean, let's put it this way. Let me just throw this out there. And if Lacey Baker, if you're watching, this is just food for thought. And this goes for every guy that's a fan of skateboarding as well. I mean, Lacey Baker does, a big hard flip off a flat bank and up in the air and lands on flat. I mean, she's 5 foot in the air. And she does a nollie heel flip off here. Knees tucked, catches the nollie heel flip, lands on flat, 5 foot in the air. And there's a couple people in the audience, because it's a woman's skateboard event. Not that many people are there. And, you know, a few people clap. And a lot of the people that are there are probably like, you know, their girlfriends or friends of theirs or family members or who knows, but they don't even really know what they're watching. They apparently don't know what they're watching because Lacey Baker's doing way harder tricks than any of these other girls. I mean, like Leticia Buffoni, I mean, she does like a 180 off of a thing, which is pretty rad, but that ain't like doing no hard flip off of a thing like this with big style and everything. I mean, Lacey Baker is doing harder tricks. You know what I mean? This girl is just on another level, right? So I don't think. No, what I'm saying is, if Lacey Baker was in a men's contest, you know, and she did that same hard flip off this big bank, the whole crowd would have been going nuts. Yeah, and you're yelling. Guys would have been like giving her a high five, and you're like, man, that was a sick hard flip. And it's even more sick that it's like, man, that's a girl that just did that. So, you know, it's kind of like, you know, like I seen Rodney Mullen. This guy's like in his 40s. I'm like, man, this guy's, it's even more impressive because he's so old. And it's like, yeah, but never in skateboarding has there been like a segregation. And I kind of disappointed to see that. And I definitely do get it where these girls are coming from. You know, maybe the skate industry hasn't been as open-minded as they probably should have been. That's why I'm kind of, like I said, I'm kind of disappointed on the whole thing. Like, you know, I mean, why should some girls that are super rad, like Lacey Baker, why should Lacey Baker have to skate in an event that's, you know, segregated and you girls go skate over here in this competition? Like, I mean, I almost feel like me personally as a fan of skateboarding, I'm like kind of offended to see that. Like, I'd rather see like, I'm like, why do you got this girl skating over here? This girl's good enough to skate over here. I mean, she could show up in a men's skateboard event, and is she going to win? No, she's not. But guys that don't land their tricks, she's going to outskate them. And even if they do land their tricks, you know, she's maybe going to have better style than them. She's going to place higher than them. She's going to beat, Lacey Baker shows up to a pro skate contest, you know, men's competition. She's going to not place last. She's not. To me, if she's not going to place last, then that means she's good enough to be skateboarding there. And I just feel like something was weird about that. Like, I don't know. I just don't like the segregation of it. Like in a way, it's cool. Like, if women's skateboarding was going to blow up so big. But I don't think it's going to. Like, it's not. I don't think women's skateboarding is going to blow up so big that, like, there's going to be, like, hundreds of rad female skateboarders. So, you know what I'm saying? In the meantime, why have Lacey Baker, and nobody's seeing her. Like, Lacey, people are not going to see you. Like, you know what I mean? You get out at the contest, and everybody's going to be like, man, this girl's rad. And you're just going to be out there skating. Something about it was I just didn't like, man. I just feel like it just, something wasn't right. Like, she's like not going to get the props that she deserves, you know what I mean? You know, and as far as like looking at like, you know, guys like judging how good looking the girl is. I mean, Lacey Baker's like this super cute girl. Like, she's super cute and she's got a really athletic body, like a great body. Like, so, I mean, I don't get that either. It's like, I mean, she's prettier than Leticia Buffoni. Like, her face, like, if we're going to go there, if we're going to talk about that. But skateboarding is not about that. It's just about getting out and skate and being rad and like, and I don't know, man. It just, something was about that. It was just weird. It's just like, kind of threw me off as like a fan of skateboarding. Skateboarding has never been about that. Like, you know, we're gonna segregate ourselves. Like, man, I don't know. That's something about that ain't right. And if any guy, you You know what I mean? If some girl's doing a big hard flip off a thing, I mean, this girl's doing like no slides, 270s out, and like all the, I mean, hard tricks, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like nose manuals and like just all these crazy tricks, dude. Like for real. Like if anybody's a true skater, they're gonna, you know. And even then, skateboarding has never been about how good you are. I mean, yeah, in a contest, but like, you should be stoked on anybody skating. I mean, that's just what skateboarding is. So, but some I don't like this women's skateboarding events. I get it. You know, maybe if they had some type of score the women, but still have them skate in the men's event. You know, something like that, like to where they're scored with the men, but then separately they say, okay, this woman was first, second, so you could still have a first place in the second place. But man, get them out there in front of all the people, man, in front of the big spectacle. You know, like when they had the Wallenberg and that girl Marissa showed up. This girl Alice Wallenberg, she didn't ride away, but like, did you hear the crowd? Everybody's screaming. So I don't want to hear that people aren't going to support the women. I mean, that's not true. I mean, people are going to be stoked on anything. It's like, like when the girl was eyeing the four at Wallenberg, we were like, man, people are like, whoa, what is going on? Like, and that girl's got like mad props. Like everybody knows her from that video. So I just think that skateboarding should be one big skateboarding event, and you know, and I'd rather see you out there in a big event with everybody there and not isolated. And I don't like to see like interviews, like hearing about, you know what I mean, like they're not getting the support from the companies because they should be. And just, I don't know, man, just get out there and skate. Just get out there and skate. That's what skateboarding is about. So I'll see you guys later.